Let me ask you something that could change your life. Are you living every day with the mindset of a winner, or are you just surviving? Because here's the truth most people won't tell you. Your mind is either your greatest weapon or your biggest enemy. And the difference between those who rise and those who stay stuck, it's not talent, it's not luck, it's not even opportunity. It's mindset, period. The people who build empires, change lives, break generational cycles, they don't just think differently. They train their mind like warriors train their bodies every single day. Today, I'm going to give you 5 ways, simple but powerful ways to build a mindset so strong, so focused, so resilient that nothing can shake you. But I'll warn you, this isn't for the faint of heart. This is for those who are done with playing small. This is for those who know deep down, there's more in me and I'm ready to unleash it. So if you're serious about creating a life on your terms, if you're ready to stop surviving and start dominating, then lean in, lock in, and don't miss a word. Because this could be the mindset shift that changes everything. Let me tell you something that most people don't want to hear, but the people who win in life already know. You are 100% responsible for your life. That's not just a motivational line. It's the foundation of a winning mindset. The moment you stop waiting for someone to save you, to understand you, to validate you, that's the moment you start to take your power back. See, we've all had setbacks. We've all had people betray us, reject us, lie to us, walk away, overlook us. And yeah, it hurts. But pain is part of life. What matters is what you do with it. What matters is whether you let it define you or refine you. Most people are walking around carrying old stories like chains around their necks. I'm like this because my parents were like that. I can't trust people because I got burned. I'm stuck because the economy's bad. Those are victim stories. They might be true events, but they're not the truth of who you are. And as long as you keep telling yourself those stories, guess what? You'll keep living out the same pattern. You want to win, then you have to drop the story and step into your power. Your story isn't you, it's what you've been through. And every champion I've ever seen, every person who's transformed their life, they made one bold decision. I'm in charge now. Not in charge of the world, not in charge of other people, but in charge of how they respond, how they think, how they show up, even when it's hard, because that's where freedom lives. That's where breakthrough begins. Now, I'm not saying it's easy, it's not, but it's simple. Decide that from this moment forward, you're not available for excuses. You're not available for blame. You're not available for waiting on circumstances to line up, because guess what? They won't. Conditions rarely feel perfect. Life's messy, but the winners, they act anyway. They decide, this is my life. And I don't care where I started, I care where I'm going. They flip the script. Instead of asking, why did this happen to me? They ask, what is this trying to make of me? That's power. That's ownership. That's where real change happens. You don't need someone else to fix you. You don't need permission. You just need a decision. A real one. One where you draw the line and say, I'm done being a passenger in my own life. Because the second you make that decision, your entire world starts to shift. Ownership is the first step, the foundation, the switch that flips the light on. When you take full responsibility for everything, your thoughts, your reactions, your outcomes, you stop waiting for life to happen and start creating it. And that is the first move to building a mindset that wins. Most people have no idea how powerful their emotional state really is. They think mindset is all about thinking the right thoughts, repeating affirmations, or staying positive when things go wrong. That's part of it, but that's not the whole game. What separates people who crush it from those who collapse under pressure isn't just what they think, it's the state they're in when they make decisions, take action, and face challenges. Because let's be real, you can have the best strategy in the world. You can know all the right steps. But if you're in a lousy state, if you're stressed, overwhelmed, afraid, insecure, you're going to sabotage everything. You'll second guess yourself. You'll hesitate. You'll shrink. But when you're in a peak state, when your energy is high, your body is engaged, your mind is clear, suddenly you don't just think differently, you become someone different. Someone who moves, someone who leads, someone who wins. So if you want a winning mindset, you've got to learn how to control your state. Not occasionally, not when it's convenient, but every single day. Because your state is like fuel. It either moves you forward or shuts you down. And the beautiful part is you don't need to wait for something good to happen to feel powerful. You can shift your state in a moment. You can decide, this is who I need to be right now, and become it. Think about it. What happens to your posture when you're feeling defeated? Your shoulders drop, your breathing gets shallow, your energy dips. And what happens when you're fired up? Confident, certain, your chest opens up, your voice has power, your presence changes. That's not accidental, that's physiological. Your body is the fastest way to shift your state. Move it, use it, train it. And then there's your focus. What are you putting your attention on? Losers focus on what's missing, what's broken, what could go wrong. Winners focus on what they can control, what they can build, and what they want to create. And finally, the words you use internally and out loud, language is a weapon. If you're constantly saying, I'm tired, I'm stressed, I'm overwhelmed, your brain listens. But if you say, I've got this, I was built for this, your brain finds a way to rise up. You want a championship level mindset, then you've got to train like it. Just like an athlete doesn't wait until game day to get ready, you can't wait until life punches you in the face to find your strength. You've got to practice daily. Condition your mind and body to respond with power on command. Because at the end of the day, your emotional state is the foundation of all your decisions, all your actions, all your results. Get that right and you become unstoppable. Here's the thing most people don't realize. Your mind is like a garden. Whatever you plant, you're going to harvest. If you feed it junk, negativity, and noise, you'll get weeds choking your growth. But if you feed it power, inspiration, and truth, you'll grow something unstoppable. The reality is, what you allow into your mind shapes your reality more than almost anything else. You can have all the potential in the world, but if you're constantly bombarded by negative news, toxic people, and limiting beliefs, it's like trying to swim upstream with weights on your ankles. Your mental diet, the books you read, the conversations you have, the media you consume, it either builds you up or tears you down. And most people don't even notice the poison they're drinking every day. Look around. How many people wake up and start scrolling through a feed full of drama, fear, and complaint? How many fill their heads with gossip, scarcity, and why me stories? And then wonder why they feel stuck, anxious, or defeated. It's no accident. You can't fill your mind with poison and expect to feel empowered, hopeful, or motivated. The power to build a winning mindset starts with what you choose to consume. Who do you listen to? What do you read? Who are you surrounded by? Because your environment shapes your thoughts, and your thoughts shape your life. Imagine a champion athlete. They don't fill their mind with negativity or distractions. They feed it with stories of triumph, with strategies from those who've succeeded, with language that reinforces their potential. They immerse themselves in success because they know it rewires their brain for greatness. You need to become intentional about what you allow into your mind. Guard it fiercely. Choose mentors, books, podcasts, and conversations that challenge you, inspire you, and push you forward. Seek out those who lift you higher, who believe in possibility, who refuse to accept limitations, and just as important, cut out the toxic influences, the naysayers, the energy vampires who drain your spirit and drown your dreams. It's not about ignoring reality or pretending everything is perfect. It's about choosing to focus on what fuels your growth instead of what fuels your fear. When you consistently feed your mind with power, You create a mental environment where confidence grows, resilience builds, and success becomes inevitable. Remember, your results are a reflection of your mental diet. Garbage in, garbage out. If you want to change your life, you've got to change what you feed your mind every single day. Start treating your mind like the precious asset it is, because that's exactly what it is. When you do that, when you guard your mental space and feed it with the right nutrients, you don't just survive, you thrive. You don't just dream, you deliver. That's the power of a winning mindset. And here's something that changes everything. Progress, not perfection, is what creates momentum and fuels a winning mindset. So many people get stuck waiting for the perfect moment, the flawless plan, or the ideal version of themselves to finally appear. But perfection is a mirage. It's an illusion that keeps you frozen, playing small, and stuck in the cycle of overthinking and self-doubt. But you don't have to be perfect to start. In fact, perfection kills progress. Waiting to feel ready or waiting until conditions are just right is just another way to stay stuck. The truth is, the only way to grow, to build confidence, and to shift your mindset is to move. Take action, make mistakes, learn, adjust, and then keep going. Every single person who's ever achieved greatness didn't get there by waiting for perfection. They got there by committing to constant progress, day by day, step by step. They embraced the process. They celebrated the small wins. They learned from their failures without letting those failures define them. Think about it. When you take consistent steps forward, no matter how small, something magical happens. You build momentum, and momentum breeds confidence. It builds belief. It creates the unstoppable force that pushes you through challenges and setbacks. But it's more than just movement. It's the mindset behind it. When you focus on progress, you start to see every experience as an opportunity, a chance to learn, to grow, to get better. You stop beating yourself up over mistakes or setbacks because you understand they're part of the journey. You start to shift your energy from fear of failure to excitement for growth. But here's what happens when you commit to progress over perfection. Your standards get higher. You demand more from yourself, not out of pressure, but out of love for your potential. You become relentless in your pursuit of improvement because every day you show up, you're one step closer to your goal. And don't confuse progress with speed. Sometimes progress is slow. Sometimes it feels like 2 steps forward and 1 step back. That's okay. It's still progress. The key is to keep moving, to keep learning, to keep growing. The moment you embrace this truth, your mindset shifts. You become more patient with yourself, more compassionate, more driven. You stop waiting for validation or permission. You own your path and you walk it with purpose. Remember, growth isn't linear. It's messy, unpredictable, and uncomfortable. But every step forward, no matter how imperfect, builds strength, resilience, and confidence. And that's what creates a mindset that wins no matter what. The key to a winning mindset is simple. Keep moving forward. Keep growing. Keep showing up. Because progress, not perfection, is the secret weapon that turns dreams into reality. Here's a truth that most people overlook, but is absolutely critical. You become who you spend your time with. The people you surround yourself with, their energy, their beliefs, their habits, shape your mindset more than almost anything else. It's not just about who you hang out with for fun or comfort. It's about who you choose to be around when you want to grow, to push limits, and to win. Think about this for a moment. If you spend most of your time with people who complain, who doubt themselves, who focus on what's wrong with the world instead of what's possible, guess what? That mindset becomes contagious. You don't even realize it, but slowly their limiting beliefs and fears creep into your own thinking, and before you know it, you're playing small, just like them. On the other hand, if you surround yourself with warriors, people who are hungry, focused, and relentless, you'll start to mirror that energy. You'll start thinking bigger, acting bolder, and believing deeper. That's the power of proximity. The people closest to you set the tone for your mindset, your habits, and your success. But it's not just about quantity, how many people you know, it's about quality. It's about intentional connection with those who elevate you, challenge you, and push you beyond your comfort zone. These are the people who see your potential even when you doubt it yourself. They don't let you settle. They hold you accountable. They celebrate your wins and call you out when you're slipping. This doesn't mean you have to cut everyone out who's struggling or going through tough times. Compassion is important, but you have to be mindful about the dominant voices you listen to every day. Are those voices empowering you or draining you? Are they pushing you forward or holding you back? If you want to build a winning mindset, you have to be ruthless about this. You need to curate your circle carefully. Look at the people you spend the most time with and ask yourself, are these the people who inspire me to be better, who challenge me to grow, who reflect the mindset I want to develop? If the answer is no, it's time to make a change. It might be uncomfortable. It might feel lonely at first, but trust me, it's necessary because your mindset will never rise above the level of your environment. This is why high achievers are always seeking new mentors, new peers, new communities that fuel their growth. They know that no matter how talented or driven they are, they can't do it alone. The right tribe propels you, it lifts you, it holds you to a higher standard. So if you want to build a mindset that wins, start by looking around you. Start by choosing your company wisely. Surround yourself with warriors who believe in possibility, who take massive action, who refuse to accept average. When you do that, your mindset will naturally shift. Your energy will skyrocket, your belief will deepen. Because at the end of the day, you don't just become who you want, you become who you spend your time with. Choose wisely. One of the most powerful tools you have to build a winning mindset is something most people completely underestimate: the power of visualization. It sounds simple, almost too good to be true, but I'm telling you, what you see in your mind's eye shapes your reality more than almost anything else. If you can see the victory clearly, feel it deeply, and live it inside before it shows up outside, you've already won half the battle. Your brain doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's vividly imagined. When you spend time visualizing your goals as if they've already happened, your mind starts to accept that reality. It begins to create the neural pathways, the emotional intensity, and the belief system necessary to make it happen. This isn't just wishful thinking, it's neuroscience. Imagine an Olympic athlete. Before they ever run their race, they see themselves crossing the finish line. They feel the adrenaline, the crowd, the glory. They mentally rehearse every movement, every detail, every challenge. This mental rehearsal programs their body and mind for success. When game day comes, they don't hesitate. They execute because their mind has already been there. You can use that same power. It doesn't matter if you're building a business, recovering from a setback, or chasing a personal dream. When you visualize with clarity and emotion, you're programming your subconscious to work for you, not against you. You're planting seeds of belief that grow into unstoppable confidence. But it's not enough to just daydream. You have to get specific. Vague ideas produce vague results. You want to see the exact outcome you want. Picture yourself in that moment of success. What are you wearing? Who's around you? How do you feel? What sounds do you hear? The more sensory detail you include, the more real it becomes. Don't just visualize the win. You've got to visualize the process too. See yourself overcoming obstacles, handling setbacks with calm and resilience, pushing through doubts and fears. When you prepare your mind for the journey, not just the destination, you build strength to handle whatever comes. Here's the catch. Visualization without action is just fantasy. But visualization paired with massive, consistent action is unstoppable. When you see it, feel it, and then move toward it every day, your mindset shifts from hope to certainty. You start to believe because you've rehearsed it so many times in your mind that failure isn't an option. Start making visualization a daily habit. Spend a few minutes each morning or night seeing yourself living the life you want. Feel the emotions of success, the pride, the joy, the relief. Let those feelings flood your system. Let them remind you why you're pushing so hard. Because when you do this, you don't just want success. You know what's coming? And that level of certainty changes everything. You're not just dreaming anymore. You're creating